I'll be with you in just a moment. Yes, thank you. One moment here. Okay. Yeah, so sorry. Okay, perfect. Fantastic. Hi there. Yeah, thank you for waiting. Thank you for coming to Black Cat Costuming. How can I help you today? Oh, you have an appointment with us? Awesome. Okay, great. And can I get your first and last name? Perfect. Okay, let me pull you up in the system here. You're a little early, which is perfect. Love that for us. That gives us extra time. And you're here for the costume consultation, right? Perfect. Okay, let's see here. So, let me get everything pulled up. Can I have you verify what's a good phone number to reach you at? Okay. Let's see here. Okay, perfect. Yeah, we won't call you or anything unless you request for us to. It's mostly so we can let you know if we're doing like a custom costume for you. We can let you know like when it's ready and all that good stuff. Yeah, we don't need like your mailing address or anything like that. Yeah, nothing major. Okay, well, let's see. Are you ready to get started? Do you want like a water or anything like that? Okay. Yeah, if you do need anything, it's actually just right behind you. Yeah, we kind of sneak it into the corner there. Anyway, my name is Becca. Thank you for coming in. I will be your Black Cat costume consultant today. It's a lot of C's, but I'm excited you're here. So, let's see. We can just get started with the questionnaire that we have. As far as costumes go, let's start here. So, do you have a budget? Yeah, some people want to go like really. Forgive me, I'm so thirsty today. Some people want to go pretty extravagant, like if they're having, a big Halloween party. Sometimes people really want to sometimes people really want to go like all out for a Halloween party. Not saying you have to by any means, but do you have like a rough estimate of a budget in mind, or is this kind of more to get like a feel for ideas? Okay. Yeah, that's a totally reasonable budget. We actually we can work on really any budget. It's just something that we like to have kind of a idea going into it what would be a good fit for your budget. For instance, you're not going to have a super extravagant costume if your budget is $5. But there's still a lot of ways to work with whatever budget that you have. So, okay, so you've got good budget. Love that for us. Now, let's see. Over the last 5 years, can you remember any or all of the costumes that you had previously? And if you would or would not like to repeat them? Yeah, take your time. I mean, sometimes it's hard to remember, but yeah, if any of them like stand out, definitely let me know. Hmm. Yeah, that's one I've seen a couple times. Yeah. Okay, and are you looking to like repeat that one? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I mean, It's totally up to you. Sometimes people, they're like a one and done. They get like one nice costume and then that's what they go for like year after year after year, which nothing wrong with that either. Yeah. There's no wrong way to dress up for Halloween, you know? As long as you're being respectful, of course. but but yeah, there's no wrong way to like repeat a costume, I guess. Okay, and then let's see, that brings me to my next question here. Now, as far as previous costumes go, was there anything about like any of your costumes that you had in the past that was uncomfortable for you? Like maybe like if a costume had, certain undergarments or, like the way it fit. Like was there anything like that was uncomfortable in the past? Okay. No, I totally understand. Yeah. Like sometimes you try on like a top, let's say, and you try it on and then you try it on like on Halloween and it's like, uh-oh, this is too tight. This doesn't feel good. Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Totally understandable. Totally workable. Okay. Now let's see. Are you looking for, we have three kind of options. We have, are you looking for a costume that you make yourself? So, for instance, we would supply you with, the parts, the cloth, the pieces, what have you. And then it would be something that you assemble yourself, or are you looking for a costume that's already made, like manufactured, mass produced, or are you looking for more of a custom costume? Oh, okay. Gotcha. Okay. And you definitely can pick, more than one. We can supply you with, various options, things like that. Yeah. Like that's not a problem. Yeah. Because again, like some people, they have the trunk or treat at, the kids' school, and then they have the, meeting in the neighborhood. And yeah, some people want multiple costumes and kind of varying degrees of custom, let's say. Yeah. Yeah, not a problem. We can really work with just about anything. So don't even worry about it. Okay. So now, let's see. As far as your Halloween plans go, is this something that you're planning to wear like out and about, trick or treating? Is it something that you're wearing to a party? Just kind of, give me a rundown on what the plans are so far. Okay. Yeah, good to know. Yeah, I mean, as far as going trick or treating, we really just want to make sure that if, you're going as a black cat or Batman or, something like that, that we have, the proper reflective gear with your costume. We don't want anyone getting hurt, of course. So, yeah, we don't want anyone getting hurt. We don't want, anything bad to happen. We want to make sure that, you know, everything is up to code, so to say. Yeah, there's not really like a Halloween code, but you know what I mean. We want to make sure you're safe out there. Okay, and let's see. So now, as far as the costume, so we've talked a little bit about like your intentions with the costume. Do you know, like, are you going to be inside, outside? Okay. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's hard, especially, in the fall. You go from being outside where it's cold to inside where, people are running the heater. And so you go in and then you're a million degrees. So are you looking for something that maybe has like layers to it? Potential options to, yeah, potential options. Okay. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think that's kind of the smarter way to go is just make sure that you have, it's better to have more options than not, let's say. I think that's the better way to put it. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. So, getting this all pulled up. So, probably something with layers. Okay. Now, these next few questions are going to be a little bit kind of, they're more personal preference related, let's say. I think that's the easier way to put it. So, I'm going to ask you a few questions about, your preferences on what you would want to be dressed as, I guess. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, how do you feel about portraying a historical figure? Okay. Yeah, like we don't have one in mind. It's just, how do you feel about portraying like a historical figure? And by historical figure, I mean someone like over 100 years old. So, yeah, like history, not like, someone who was popular like 10 years ago. Okay. All right. And then how do you feel also about like sounds weird to say it this way, but like an anthropomorphic costume? So, like portraying an animal or something like that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not like a fursuit. I know. That is that is generally where people's thoughts go. But, we just like to check. Okay, so how would you feel about portraying something? So not necessarily like a person or an animal, but like food or like something kind of like mythical or otherworldly, so to say. Okay. And then, tangentially related to that, how would you feel about portraying something that is typically considered like evil, like maybe a zombie or a demon or something like that? Like, does that cross a boundary for you or your event? Right. I mean, not everyone is okay with someone, dressing up like a red devil at a Halloween party, but a lot of people think it's pretty harmless, so we just like to check. Okay. Yeah, totally valid. Yeah, either way is fine. Okay, let's see. We are almost there, I promise. I know we're really pretty thorough around here when it comes to consultations. Okay, so now as far as the costume itself goes, we've talked about, potentially doing layers, what's comfortable, things like that. Let's talk now about color. So, do you have like any colors that you do or don't prefer on yourself? Do you have anything that you feel would be a good or bad fit as far as colors go? Okay. Yeah, so like some people don't like how they look in yellow, so they probably wouldn't want to go as like a bumblebee for Halloween. Yeah, stuff like that. So, okay. And yeah, in your day to day wardrobe, do you tend to prefer more of like bright colors, more muted tones, neutrals? Tell me a little about your like wardrobe. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, for me personally, like I do a lot of thrifting, so it's kind of like if I can get something, it's kind of whatever fits, you know? So I totally get you. Okay, so we're almost done. Now, as far as the costume, we've talked about color, we've talked about fit, we've talked about all these things. Let me see, what other information do I need? I think we've got a pretty good idea. So, the way that this process works is I'm taking all of your information, but I'm not actually one of the designers. So, what I do is I just take the information and I send it to our design team, and they look at your profile, and then if it jumps out to them, they'll kind of snatch it up. So, sometimes what happens is you might have multiple designers who want to work with you based on it. So, you might receive multiple offers of costumes. It's a good problem to have. But either way, we will have someone working with you on your design. So, last couple questions are more like housekeeping kind of questions, but I do want to ask, are there any costumes that you absolutely would love to see? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's totally fine. Mhm. Yeah, and the great news is, like, if you do see something, say on like Instagram or Pinterest or wherever, even Reddit, like, if you find something, you can actually text us a picture, screenshot, whatever, and we can actually put that in your file to say, like, hey, I like this, but that way we can kind of build on that. Yeah, for sure. And then do you have any issue with face coverings? Some folks, like, if you're going to an event at a school, sometimes they don't allow masks, things like that. So, do you have any issue with like face covering at all? Would you prefer like face paint, makeup? Okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. And then let's see here. So, and the phone number that you gave me at the beginning, is that a good number to text you at? Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. Well, I think I have just about everything that I need. I'm just running through here to make sure that I've got you. I think I do. I'm pretty sure I've got everything we need. If we need anything, that's the thing. Is there a particular time that is best to reach out to you? So, for instance, like, are you in meetings early in the day but free in the afternoon? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, not a problem. Okay, so I think I have everything all set. But again, if you come up with anything or you think of anything, let me know. Aha, that was the last thing. We talked about, what you would be thrilled to see, but do you have anything that you absolutely do not want to be for Halloween? Yeah, I mean, we steer clear of any like topical figures, let's say. Yeah, we don't want, your costume to draw any negative attention because I mean ultimately that does come back to us. Yeah. Because people, they'll probably ask, like, oh, hey, where'd you get your costume? And they might be kind of not thrilled. So, yeah, we don't choose like any sort of like topical figures. We try to keep it timeless. That way, it's a costume, it's an investment, it's something you can wear like year after year, party after party, maybe change it up a little year to year, but ultimately it's the same pieces. Yeah. And that also brings me to another point. We do actually have a costume buyback program as well. So if you wear this costume and you decide that you don't want to wear it next year, or it didn't fit right, or whatever, we do have a buyback program. It's not a one-to-one return, but it is a program to where we will essentially, we can buy it back or we can give you store credit. And yeah, it's usually, I mean, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's usually like 80% of what you paid. So it is kind of a good deal. But I'm just saying, it depends on, the quality of the costume, if you get my drift. So, like, if you bring it back with a bunch of stains, it's probably not gonna be worth as much. But yeah, so that's our buyback program. So yeah, I think we have covered everything. I'll let you have some of your day back. But again, if you think of anything, don't hesitate to reach out. We actually are able to get our text messages either on our computer setup that we have here, but also we do always have someone like by the phone essentially if you need anything. So, yeah, I think we've got you all set. I will go ahead and get this over to our designers to see what they would like to do, see what they kind of have in mind for you. Yeah, we do have the ability to do like measurements and things like that, but that's ultimately something that we do later. So, once we have a design in mind for you, yeah, that's information that we gather from you later, and usually we can kind of just go by like your shirt size, your pant size, things like that. So we don't really need to measure like, oh, you're this many inches unless we're really going to go for something intricate, which is why we don't really do that at the beginning. Yeah. And that's another thing too. If you already have your measurements handy, some people have them for, maybe they went to a wedding and had to get a suit or things like that. If you have your measurements handy, you can also submit those. But yeah, I think we're just about done here. Perfect. Well, I appreciate you coming in. Be sure to grab a drink for the road. Grab some snacks too. They're really good. Yeah, I mean, I totally would. All right. I believe that's everything I have for you today. Yeah, take care, and we will probably see you in about a week. Awesome. Yeah. Thanks. They seemed really nice. I think they're going to have a really good Halloween this year. Ooh, I hope that Cupcake takes the profile. They're such a good designer. Yeah. We'll see. I definitely want to, see where that one goes. Yeah. I'm very curious.